Let's be honest. Most compliments you've given in your life have probably missed the mark. You're gorgeous. You look incredible. You're so sexy. Sure, those words sound nice and feel safe to say. But let me ask you if she's heard those same lines from dozens of forgettable guys. What makes you think yours will stick? The truth is, they won't. Real attraction isn't sparked by flattery. It's ignited when she feels truly seen mentally, emotionally, even physically. That requires a different approach. The kind of compliment that slips past her defenses and lingers in her mind long after you're gone. This isn't about empty praise. This is about influence. I'm about to reveal the top 3 forbidden compliments that work not because they're sweet, but because they're bold. Before we dive in, hit subscribe. We're here for men who are tired of being ordinary. If you're ready to master this on a deeper level, join the Stoic Brotherhood and learn how to become unforgettable. Now, let's break down what you should never say again, what to say instead if you want her mind racing and her body craving you. 1. Ditch "you're beautiful," say this instead. How many times have you told a woman she's beautiful? It feels polite, maybe even romantic. But here's the harsh reality. It doesn't work the way you think. She's heard it from every guy who's ever wanted her, from strangers online to men she barely remembers. It's predictable. It's generic. It doesn't touch her. When you say you're beautiful, you're just echoing what her mirror already told her. You're not giving her anything new. Beauty matters, but complimenting her like every other man just makes you blend in. Want to stand out? Tell her what her beauty does to you. Instead of "you're beautiful," try "there's something dangerous about the way you look at me." See the difference? Now you're talking about the energy between you, not just her appearance. You're inviting her into a shared moment, hinting at desire without being crude. Or say, "I can't decide if you're a mystery I want to solve or a place I want to get lost in." That's not about her looks. It's about your experience of her. Here's the secret. Women don't fall for being told they're pretty. They fall for feeling understood, for being seen in ways most men never risk expressing. Want to go deeper? Try "you carry your beauty like it's no big deal." That's rare. Now you're noticing how she holds herself, not just how she looks. That's where the real power of a compliment lies, not in praising the obvious, but in highlighting what others miss. There are 3 types of compliments. Safe compliments. "You're beautiful." "You look nice." These are forgettable. Seductive compliments. "There's something about the way you move." These build tension. Psychological compliments. "You make me forget what I was about to say." These get inside her head. When you stop complimenting her surface and start sharing your experience, you stand out. Most men are too scared to go there. But you're learning to speak to her instincts, not just her ears. And here's the difference between weak and strong. You don't say these things to get a reaction. You say them because they're true, because you mean them, because you're grounded enough to say what others won't. That's what makes you unforgettable. 2. Compliments that hit both body and mind. Most compliments land in one of 2 places. The body, "you look sexy in that dress," or the mind, "you're so interesting." Rarely do they do both. And that's why most men lose before they even start. Here's what most guys miss. A woman doesn't just want to feel wanted. She wants to feel both desired and understood. That's what gets under her skin. Try this. "You move like you know exactly what you're doing." And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't thinking about it. The first part is an observation. It makes her feel seen. The second part is the drop. It creates tension. You're not complimenting her for validation. You're sharing the effect she has on you. That flips the script. Or try "the way you sit so still with that much confidence." Sits distracting. You're not just noticing her looks, you're noticing her presence. That's rare. Women aren't drawn to men who only see their surface. They're attracted to men who see the layers, the vibe, the energy, the command they carry. Here's another. You're the kind of woman who knows exactly when to speak and when to hold back. You're not just complimenting her, you're showing you notice. Restraint's a subtle but powerful form of sensuality. Remember, none of these lines work if you deliver them like a pickup artist. The power is in your delivery, relaxed, certain, not fishing for approval. When you speak like that, you become the experience she replays in her mind. That's what gets her hooked. 3. Praise her shadows, not just her light. Most guys stick to the obvious. You're sweet, you're fun, you're so positive, safe, predictable, forgettable. But here's what they don't get. Women don't want to be seen as perfect. They want to be seen as real. And real women have shadows, while everyone else is praising her light. You're going to acknowledge her edge, the side she hides, the energy she tones down. Try. There's something dangerous about you. I can't decide if I should lean in or run. You didn't say she's hot or nice. You said there's something dark in her, and you're drawn to it. That flips a switch. Or you've got the kind of energy that doesn't ask for space, takes it. You're not praising her kindness. You're recognizing her power. That's intoxicating. Why does this work? Because it's taboo. Because it's real. Because it says, I'm not afraid of who you really are. In fact, that's what I want most. You're giving her permission to be raw, wild, unpolished. And you're saying, without words, I can handle all of you. That's magnetic. But this only works if you mean it. If you're present, clear, and calm. If you say it to manipulate, it dies. But if you say it from a place of truth, it lands. Because every woman knows her dark side isn't wrong knits, just hidden. And when a man sees it and doesn't flinch, she remembers him. Try this on a first date. You've got a little chaos in your eyes. That's probably my favorite thing about you. You're not afraid of the storm, you're dancing in it. 4. Compliment what she's afraid to admit she loves. She loves. Every woman has something she secretly loves but rarely admits. It's not the flowers or the generic compliments. It's deeper, sometimes even a little taboo. Most women have cravings they bury. Under politeness, cravings for power, for being led, for being seen in ways they can't say out loud. That's where you come in. While most guys compliment the surface, you speak to what she won't admit but can't ignore. Try. You love being in control, but I can tell part of you wants to let go. That's not just a line, it's an insight. If you say it with calm confidence, it'll hit her like lightning. Or you pretend not to like attention, but the way you dress says otherwise. This isn't judgment, it's recognition. You're saying, I see you. Not the mask, but the energy underneath. When you compliment the part of her she's afraid to admit she enjoys, you're telling her, you're safe to be fully yourself with me. That's rare. Most women aren't complimented in that space. Very few men know how to stand in the middle, grounded, clear, and bold enough to praise the fire she hides. Another example, you've got this quiet hunger under all that calm. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't curious. You're not saying she's too much, you're saying she's exactly the kind of alive you want more of. But this only works if you mean it. If you're present, not performing. The second it feels like a tactic, it dies. But when it's truth, it's unforgettable. Because for women, traction isn't just about who you are, it's about how you see her. 5. Make her feel seen. Not just desired. Most men make the same mistake. They think desire is the goal. They focus on compliments like, you're so hot, you're sexy, I want you. That kind of attention might get a smirk, maybe a playful reply, but desire is cheap. Every woman gets it every day. Being truly seen. That's rare. Most men compliment the effect. You're beautiful. I can't stop staring at you. the compliments that actually hit. They complement the cause. Try. You read people before they speak. I can tell you carry that quietly, but it's sharp. You're not saying she's hot, you're saying, I see how you move through the world, and I respect it. Or, you act like you don't need attention, but you're fully aware when you walk into a room. Now you've made her feel understood, not just looked at. That's a rare feeling, and rare is powerful. Every woman, especially those used to being desired, starts to filter out compliments. She builds armor. But when you slip through the cracks with a sentence that says, I see the real you and I like that version more, that armor starts to melt. Try. You look like you're always in control, but I bet your mind never stops. That shows emotional intelligence and makes her feel like you're paying attention to the small things. Lead with awareness. Let her feel like you saw the version of her that's hidden underneath all the compliments she normally gets. Then, if you choose to express desire later, it feels earned, real. Grounded. 6. Say what no other man dares to say. Here's the truth. Women don't remember the safe guy. They remember the man who made them feel something real. That doesn't happen when you say what's expected. It happens when you say what nobody else dares to say. Most guys try to be liked, to be nice, to be respectful. In the process, they say nothing. They walk on eggshells, overthink every word, filter themselves. So much they lose all presence. She feels that. She doesn't feel excited or curious, she feels bored. But the man who says what she's never heard before, he doesn't just stand out, he stays in her head. Try. I don't trust women who smile too much. There's usually something darker behind it. You didn't insult her. You just dropped a truth most people are too afraid to say. It's bold, raw, provocative, and real. Or you seem like the type who pushes people away before they get too close. That's not flirtation. It's a man with his eyes open, not afraid to call out patterns. Why does this work? Because women are used to men hiding their opinions, hiding behind compliments, hoping to get lucky. But when you speak without fear, she leans in. Not because you're right, but because you're real. Saying bold things only works if your presence is grounded. If you're trying to be edgy to get a reaction, she'll feel the insecurity. But if your energy is calm, clear, and detached from outcome, that's when it lands. That's when you become a mystery. The bravest thing a man can do with a woman today is tell the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Especially when it's uncomfortable. You're the one who sees through the performance and dares to speak to the human underneath. 7. Use scarcity compliment like a king hears the harsh reality. Most men hand out compliments like candy. You look amazing. You're so smart. You're incredible. The result? The words lose value. She hears them all the time, they blend into background noise. But you compliment like a king. Kings don't speak to impress, they speak to declare. They speak with intention, not impulse. When was the last time you held back a compliment not out of fear, but out of power? Scarcity makes things matter. When your words are rare, your presence becomes unforgettable. Imagine you're having a great conversation. Most guys are throwing compliments like confetti. You're calm, curious, grounded. After 10 minutes, you look at her and say, the way your mind works. That's rare. Just like that, you've given her one precise, valuable compliment. No fluff, no trying to win her over. I'll let you go. Just a single sentence that hits deep because you've made her wait for it. Or, there's a stillness in you most people wouldn't notice. I like it. Because you didn't flood her with empty lines. That one compliment echoes. The less available something is, the more valuable it becomes. When you make compliments scarce, you shift the dynamic. She starts wondering, what made him say that now? What else is he seeing that he's not saying yet? All she's chasing. Now you control the frame. When you compliment too much, you put yourself in the role of the admirer. But when you speak like a man who knows his value, you trigger attraction. On a level most men will never touch. The most powerful compliment is the one she had to earn, even if she doesn't know what she did to earn it. That mystery, that tension, drives her wild. Speak less, mean more. Say what's real, but say it like it costs you something to share it. 8. Turn a compliment into a challenge. A compliment is just the beginning. What makes it powerful is when it becomes a challenge. Most men stop at validation. You're amazing, you're stunning, you're so smart. It's safe, but it doesn't spark anything. When you tell a woman she's amazing and she already knows it, you're just another fan. But what happens when you flip that compliment into a challenge? Now you're not in the friend zone, you're the man who sees her potential and tests it. Let's say she talks about never letting anyone get to her. Most guys would nod and say, "That's impressive." You say, "That's cute, but I bet." You've built walls so high, you forgot what it feels like to be really seen. You just turned her strength into a doorway. You praised the toughness, but challenged the vulnerability underneath. Or she's always in control, polished, high status. Most guys try to win her approval. You look her in the eye and say, "You strike me as someone who's used to leading." I wonder if you even remember how to let go. That's not rude or aggressive, it's a masculine mirror. Compliments make her feel validated. Challenges make her feel stimulated. Put them together and she's seen, alive, intrigued. That's where attraction lives. 9. Make her wonder why she's thinking about you. What makes a woman lie awake at night thinking about you? Not your looks, not your car, not your money. It's the psychological imprint you leave behind. Don't just impress her, mock her, question herself. You do that by leaving space for her mind to roam. Women fall for the impact, not the interaction. They fall for the afterglow, not the moment. Be unexpected. Say something that makes her pause. Make a subtle observation that feels almost too accurate. You talk like you're open, but I can tell you, hold back the stuff that matters. Now she's not just reacting, she's thinking about why you saw that dot, or you seem calm. But your eyes move like someone who's always scanning the room. You didn't flirt or compliment, you unlock something. When she shares something vulnerable, don't react like everyone else. Don't say, "That must have been hard." Instead, say, "That explains a lot." Then go quiet. Let the silence pull her in. The brain doesn't like open loops. When you leave space, her mind works overtime to fill in the blanks. She starts telling herself stories. Guess who the main character is? You. Most women forget men who tried to be perfect. But they never forget the man who made them question their patterns, reflect on their behavior, and feel something they can't explain. 10. Give compliments that leave her wanting more. The most powerful compliment is the one that opens a door and leaves it slightly ajar. Most men give compliments that end the moment. You're gorgeous, you're funny, you're sexy. But when a man drops a line that lingers, when his compliment hints at something deeper, she doesn't just smile, she wants more. She says something clever. Most guys say, "That's smart." You say, "I wasn't expecting that from you." It compliments her intelligence, but also suggests there's more about her she hasn't shown yet. She smiles, but in her mind, what did he expect? What else does he think about me? Or she talks about how competitive she is. Most guys say, "That's hot." You say, "I can already see you hate losing." That probably keeps you restless at night. You're saying, "I see something deeper, but I'm not giving you the full analysis yet." That's how you turn a compliment into mental seduction. Women remember what they feel more than what they hear. If you make her feel curious, slightly off balance, and deeply seen, you're not just complimenting her, haunting her. Most people want to be fully understood. But when someone almost understands you, when they catch glimpses of your truth but leave you hungry for the rest, that's addictive. That's how your words become an emotional cliffhanger. She says something about her past, something messy. Most guys avoid it. You lean in and say, "That's the part of you I find most interesting." You just complimented the thing she hides. You validated the chaos, the shadow, the stuff she thinks no man wants to touch. Every compliment should raise her curiosity, not her ego. Make her lean forward, not relax backward. Make her feel slightly exposed, but safe. Let her think about what you didn't say more than what you did. When she walks away, she shouldn't feel praised, she should feel studied, admired for something so specific, so rare. It makes her wonder, who is this man? Why do I feel this way? What else does he see in me? When you can trigger those questions with just a few words, that's not a compliment, it's a seed planted in her psyche. And some seeds grow into obsession. Don't compliment to impress, compliment to ignite. If you've ever made a woman pause, smile, then go quiet, you've probably already done it. Sometimes it's not what you say, it's what you almost said. And that silence, that space, is where real desire lives. Ready to be unforgettable. Most men throw compliments to get attention. You give them to spark emotion, tension, and memory. That's the difference between being remembered and being wanted.